What was the degree that you went to study?
To the good stepping stone for University of Toronto. Masters in Health Informatics as one of the top paying.
Is that if I want to study, say, in some of the prestigious universities of...
Okay, so that is something which was transformational in my life. So
yeah, I need to get my skill set really in place, isn't it? Okay.
So these are some of the challenges that not only I experienced, but I hear from a lot of...
When they think of going to Canada,
what I'm going to focus on in 25.
Hello all, welcome to this podcast, a podcast that I'm really interested about because we have a very special guest, Neel Majumder, here with us at Bluesky offices. So welcome, Neel, and it's nice to have you. I know it's raining outside and you still made the time to come here. Now, I don't want to mess up all the different things that you've done, so I'm going to read it out here. You have been, you were born and raised in Kolkata, but 14 years ago or 15 years ago, you moved to Canada as a student with the University of Toronto. And since then, you have studied and worked, and gained experience in digital transformation, in healthcare, analytics, and AI. And you have gone on to secure leadership roles in Canada's public health sector. And now, after all these years, you have moved to UAE, Dubai. So that's quite a big leap. And you are working there as a faculty and digital innovation lead at the Higher Colleges of Technology, which is UAE's largest federal university, focused on applied skills development for Emirati nationals and students. And I'm sure you get international students as well. Mm-hmm. So to get started, Neel, could you please tell me what it is like, or looking back or thinking back when you were that young boy or young man going to study in Canada, mm-hmm. and to now, what has your journey been like?
Okay, all right. That's a fantastic question to get started. But before that, thank you for the introduction. Glad to be back with Bluesky, and I'm glad that we'll have a very candid conversation today about a topic I know many are interested about. So let's start a little bit about myself, mm-hmm. my journey in Canada. So when I moved to Canada many years back, it's been quite a few number of years. So I moved as a student at the University of Toronto, and that has been a pretty life-changing experience for me. Right. So University of Toronto gave me a multi-dimensional exposure. So mm-hmm. it just studies innovation, entrepreneurship, and even a lot of soft and human skills. That's right. what I kind of acquired there. So that has, I feel, apart from my graduate degree certificate, which is mm-hmm. still hanging at my drawing, yes. these are the skills that have stayed on with me, and this has really proved very, very beneficial. Okay. So kind of I went on to secure some leadership roles in mm-hmm. Canada's public health sector, mm-hmm. worked in various hospitals, University Health Network, Toronto General Hospital, then moved on to beautiful British Columbia mm-hmm. in Vancouver. Then I worked for a few years. Mm-hmm. So that has been my journey. So my area of work, which I'm not going to go a little bit deep on, but I work in health informatics, artificial intelligence, primarily tailored for the healthcare sector, and data mm-hmm. science. So yes, so the journey has been very, very enlightening, mm-hmm. and I have learned a lot. Mm-hmm. I was fortunate ever to pass on some of my learnings to some of my students. I'm also adjuncting with the University of Toronto.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
So just backtracking, what was the degree that you went to study, and what was the qualification you gained? Was it a bachelor's degree or a master's degree that you did at University of Toronto?
I went on to do my master's in health informatics.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So just for the information of some of our students, if somebody wants to go and study health informatics, what is the undergraduate qualifications that you had or they need to go on to study that?
Okay, so Masters of Health Informatics, and I should put a disclaimer that this is a highly specialized domain, right. and this is pretty niche. Mm-hmm. So first of all, you need to be interested in yes. healthcare, in the intersection of healthcare and technology. That's yes. number one. In terms of the degrees that mm-hmm. one should have, they should have a bachelor's either in computer science,
Okay.
data sciences, or related to any healthcare discipline. You may be a doctor. You may be kind of anybody who is related to the healthcare skills as well.
Okay.
So that's where it sets you the good stepping stone for University of Toronto, Masters of Health Informatics. I will also share for the knowledge of our viewers that University of Toronto is ranked number 1 in Canada, and it is, I think, number 13 in the world. So their acceptance rates are not very high, but yeah, I think there is always a spot for bright students there.
Absolutely. So would you say that once you finished your degree, which year was that?
It was 2010.
Okay, so it's with the pandemic, it sort of blew out, like and it is at the forefront of every student or everybody on this planet, to be honest. Do you think that sector has just gone boom, and you get more students, or there are more areas that students could also think about? Or?
Yeah, actually, this is something close to my heart. I can talk days on it, but I'll keep it short. So yes, so the short answer to your question is yes. It is absolutely booming, and it is absolutely an in-demand career option these days. The reason being this: the technology adoption in healthcare space has been slower. Right now,
Okay.
as you said, after the pandemic, there has been a boom.
Yes.
You can see the doctor on an app, like you book your cab.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very common example that I give to my students as well. So there's tremendous opportunities in health informatics, artificial intelligence, you have data sciences, and you have machine learning, specifically tailored to the healthcare sector. So the reason it's booming right now is because this is going to train you in specialized skill set. And I was just reading an article last night in Forbes, which is listed Masters in Health Informatics as one of the top paying degrees in 2025. So just for some context and data around it.
Okay. Wow. I know, when we think of AI, we don't really suddenly associate you getting the doctor on your app, but it is a part of all of this, isn't
Yes.
it? And it's so reassuring after the pandemic to have that easy access to healthcare or medical services. So while you worked there in Canada and while you studied there in Canada, what was the next motivating reason for you to think of coming to UAE?
Okay, so that is something which was transformational in my life. So I was really set like any other international students. You get a degree, get good jobs, and get some assets in place, and then you spend your life here. But if somebody is following the news for the last few years, so Canada has not been doing so well. So I'm going to break it down. So break it down. Number one, the cost of living has really gone up. The property prices have really shot up. Anybody can do an online research to find this out. And also the number of high quality jobs are less compared to the number of qualified immigrants that the country is bringing in.
Okay.
So these are some of the challenges that not only I experienced, but I hear from a lot of students whom I'm mentor to at University of Toronto as well. So means this is just a word of caution for anybody who is thinking to study abroad. It's not only Canada. You need to have a good skill set in order for you to get a good job, or in order for you to really be sold well. So that's something which was there. But that is a point in which when I secured some leadership roles in Canada, so I personally felt there was a sluggish growth. And that at that point, I knew UAE because number of my friends and relatives are there. So I tried to explore this option. So it's been less than a year in UAE. I will admit that I'm really happy with the progress and with the growth that I've made so far. So by UAE, we certainly associate with Dubai.
Absolutely.
But
I was going to say that.
But I will really say that it's UAE is a much bigger country. You have much bigger power centers. You have Dubai, you have Abu Dhabi, you have Sharjah, you have Ras Al Khaimah, all of this. So these are good power centers. So they're investing a lot of money. The growth is huge. And I would say UAE is a country that really backs competent people who bring in good quality skill sets. That's what my experience has been.
Okay. So again, going back to what you said, what I get from the information you just gave me is that if I want to study, say, in some of the prestigious universities of like University of Toronto, I need to get my skill set really in place, isn't it? And I need to really work hard, because look, at the end of the day, the rankings of those universities, the faculty of those universities are always going to be respected all across the world if you have a certificate from there. So we have many students who are planning to go to Canada and are researching the number of universities there. What is some skill sets that you would recommend the students focus on when they think of going to Canada or even to Dubai to study, that will set them up not only to do well as far as their degrees are concerned, but then to apply for jobs? Because what comes across to me is that there is competition. Let's face it, we are a world of what, 1.4 billion people?
Maybe more than that.
Yes, now.
Yeah.
So we are going to have to fight for the jobs, and you better be good at it. So what skill sets do you think you would like to tell our students that they need to have so that they do well? So when a job is advertised in Canada or elsewhere, they are the ones to get it. And it's just not just academic certificate. Yeah.
I'm sure this is a very, very important question for all the students and our audience here as well. So I would not touch on the cliche ones, which is have a CV, have a resume, and prepare for the interview. That's said and done. I think you have heard it a million times.
Yes.
So what I'm going to focus on in 2025 is everyone should try to build a personal brand. That's very, very important. I'll break it down. Personal brand is if you are just acquiring skill sets and nobody is aware of how unique you are, you will just be a commodity in the market.
Okay.
You will not,
very important.
You will not be a unique product. I'm using the word product here because this is what we are trying to sell.
Yes.
So yes, build a personal brand. That's very, very important, and it is easier said than done. So you should kind of focus on platforms like LinkedIn and networking and things like that. Number 2 is build a portfolio. Showcase your work, whatever you are doing. Maybe let's pick a very common example of a data analyst. Let's say you are trying to study data science in Canada or even in the UAE. You have some background, you can do some online research, learning, create a portfolio of what work you can do. And you have to do a little bit of show and tell these days because the competition is extremely high.
Yes.
It doesn't matter you land in UAE or Canada or US or UK or even Australia. So the story is the same. In order for anyone to secure a good job, you need to stand out. How can you stand out? I give you tips. Personal brand, networking, create a portfolio, and showcase your work and do a little bit of show and tell. And apart from that, obviously those cliche items are always there.
Yes.
Your CV and your interview coaching and things like that. Yeah.
So would you say that having a good mentor would also help?
Absolutely, 100%. And kind of, I can say with confidence because I learned a lot from my mentors, not in the classrooms or not in my meeting rooms, but kind of in one-on-one mentor discussions. So I think you will be surprised to know quite a huge volume of professionals are ready to mentor. You just need to go and ask. Kind of people are not even asking, right? So you can, I would say, don't even shy away from sending cold emails to people whom you see on LinkedIn, right? Many professionals who are accomplished, they are looking for a platform to share the knowledge that they've gained. Right? This is what kind of makes a lot of difference. So you set up mentorship sessions and you gain real world wisdom on any discipline that you're trying to be expert at. So yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's really helpful because say going back to mentors again, what do you suggest other than say LinkedIn or whatever, if students were to go to universities with your personal experience, say even if it's University of Toronto or any other university, do you think they would have access to student success coaches and all of that they can access to, make themselves stand out, start on the journey, before they go on? Would you recommend, was it something that you used?
Yes, so we had exactly a student success coach,
Yeah.
which was assigned to each of the students in our batch. So
Yeah.
University of Toronto has a specific department which is student mentorship,
Right.
and kind of it is completely optional and voluntary because they don't force it on the students. So you can directly walk on, and they can buddy up you with somebody who is kind of doing well in the field. So
Yeah.
that's one way of doing it. And these days, since we are living in the startup era, so
Yeah,
there's a lot
yeah.
of innovation incubators, and there's a lot of accelerators. You don't need to know, just go and sit there,
Okay.
have a cup of coffee with somebody whom you are really talking to. That is immense learning opportunity. That is networking. So yeah, that's what I think that makes a lot of sense now.
I mean, if not anything else, that in itself is one good reason to go and study abroad, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You get kind of good food and good culture.
Yes.
So yeah,
Put that together, you've got a great life.
I think so.
Yeah. So going on to the next question, now that you're teaching students in UAE,
Yeah.
what are some of the leading courses do you think that are very popular now, trending? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
like to use the word trending, but have to. And what do you think are the more upcoming courses? So, like in the next 3 to 5 years, that you would recommend students? I mean, look, they have to have the interest. I get that, but what are some of the areas that they should look at? Maybe they haven't even thought of.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I know we are not talking about fashion, so no trends and
Yeah.
fad. So, but I will, based on my observation
Yes.
over the last 15, 20 years and talking and mentoring to students, some areas stand out.
Yeah.
And especially this is very relevant discussion in the context of AI. So AI has changed a lot of jobs. So number one, I would rate as data science. So data science is a key, it's a foundation. I just came from a conference in New York last week, and we are talking a lot about data science. It was a conference about AI, but we spent 60% time talking about data science because that's the foundation. So if you're interested anywhere data, you don't need to be a geek. There are different
You sort of get that in your mind, don't you?
Yeah, you
The
don't need to
data,
wear
science
thick
and
glasses
yes.
and just get glowed on.
Yeah.
But there are new different kind of roles. If you do a little bit of research, you will find roles like data storyteller.
Okay.
This is a
What's
new.
that?
Yeah, so this is something totally brand new.
Yeah.
So data storyteller, I'll just come to that, and then kind of data stewards.
Okay.
You have data owners. You just don't have
Oh my
data
gosh.
analysts.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of different roles around the data science. Coming back to data storyteller, so there's a common anecdote which is going on in the industry right now is
Right.
death by dashboards.
Okay.
It's
All right.
like
Please explain.
you are a leader, you
Yeah.
are managing an organization, and you are dumped
Okay.
with 20 different dashboards.
Right.
And you didn't look for what kind of metrics am I interested in, right? So
Okay.
you have just graphs and charts in front of you,
Yeah.
but you don't know how to create the story. A data storyteller's job is how exactly they tie all the knots and create a story around it so that the leaders
Yeah.
get a taste of what's exactly going on in the organization. So that
okay.
is exactly the job of a
Wow.
data storyteller. So really, I have recruited a couple of data storytellers in my data analytics team in Canada.
Yeah.
So the expectation from them is to create stories from the data points. Don't just show graphs and charts to somebody who is already busy.
Yes, absolutely. And it's mind-boggling.
Yeah. So you just don't want to see kind of 50 different charts when you need to know the story behind it, right? So this is where data storyteller comes. And like this, I think data science is one of this. Obviously, people know AI, ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning is always there, but I'll try to focus on other aspects as climate change, sustainable energy.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a big area that's coming up. It's already up right
Yes,
now. So
yeah.
there's a lot of recruitment happening right now, sustainable developments and all of those areas.
Okay.
And then, the third one, which might not be a very common thing that we think of, is human computer interaction, human psychology.
Okay.
The reason being that these days we can get a lot of work done by AI, but we are lacking the human skills, emotional intelligence,
Right.
empathy, and your leadership,
Compassion.
compassion, all of this, right?
Yeah.
So thankfully, till now, a robot is not being able to do that.
Yes.
Right? So if you are upskilling yourself on those areas, you you expose yourself to many different kind of roles,
Okay.
which will come up in the next 5 to 10 years,
Yeah.
which I also don't even know.
Yeah.
But
Well, the world's
these are the
changing
skill
so
sets.
quickly.
Yeah.
So you would say that whether be it Canada or whether be it in UAE, there are quite a few degrees and programs that the students, if they're interested in, they could go and apply, and then jobs to follow up with, I guess, depending, again, a lot of other factors, you know, not just a job being advertised as such. Yeah. So the other question that I had to ask, Neel, before we end the podcast is that I know we have many students here at Blue Sky. Would you be so kind as to be a mentor to some of our students at Blue Sky if they want to follow on with their study programs in the different universities overseas, or even the career paths? Do you think you would be you would do that for us?
Yeah, so the short answer is yes.
Yes.
And I'm going to the
Fantastic.
long
Thank you.
answer is my relationship with Blue Sky, as we started the podcast with that, is pretty goes over back years. So I'm very happy to mentor. I've been doing a lot of mentoring over the last few years. So yes, so mentoring has given me a lot of benefits.
Absolutely.
And I would be happy to pass that on to people who are really interested and they're trying to find out the right way.
Yes, because, you know, you can waste so much time. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not useful, but when you talk face to face, someone who's already had experience and who's been there, done that, it's much easier for the student to get that information.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Neel, thank you so much for coming to our office today and talking to me here, and I really hope it's useful for our students. And look, students, contact us at Blue Sky, and if you wish to ask more questions, contact our counselors, and any more questions directed towards Neel, we'll be happy to pass those questions on to Neel, and as he has promised, he's going to answer them all for you. So thank you.